Hi, Priscilla. Okay, I'm going to go through your presentation. No, I am not in presentation mode, but I could be. This is what it would look like, but I wanted to show you the whole thing. So, again, on your biography, keep it short and simple. Okay? That you are a preschool teacher for 4 years. Boom. Standard one, only talk about this topic, right? So, oh, that's why I didn't want to do it um, let's do it this way. So for standard one, you're only going to talk about this topic. So standard one is child development and the learning of context. Okay. So for competency 1A, the artifact I selected is the developmental milestones. And the developmental milestones goes from birth to age 8, which completely aligns with, or you could say something along the lines, the artifact that I chose is developmental milestones. It helps teachers understand the developmental period of early childhood from birth to age 8 across physical, cognitive, social, emotional, and linguistic domains. I'm also a Head Start teacher, so we also incorporate bilingual, multilingual development in our programming. Things that I do not see in your presentation is your artifact, your rationale, and your reflection. And I understand that we're not at standard 1 yet, so like just giving the grace that you deserve. But I wanted to let you know that I don't see it as we go through this. So your artifacts, I think, are good. Standard 2 is a nice little buffer. And the standard 2 is family, teacher, partnerships, and community connections. The theorist I have with that. Oh, by the way, I do not see a theorist for standard 1. I know you're still working, but I wanted to let you know. Maria Montessori. Okay? And so then you would talk about the artifact. The artifact I chose for 2A is a book about me. This helps me as a teacher know and understand and value the diversity of the families that I serve. And then 2B this is our parent newsletter. It helps us collaborate as partners with families. And then you keep going on. All right. And then I do see a theorist for 3. And then I do see all of these artifacts. I will say you probably could, and not to make you do extra work, but you probably could decrease the size of these and increase the size of these to help your panel see your connections better. Okay, so just like kind of extending those out. You can easily undo the items that I have done. Okay, but the artifact, it is important for us to see, but we also want to kind of see your reflection as you're kind of going through or scrolling through. So again, teaching strategies is gold, but this doesn't really show us anything. It just shows that you use teaching strategies. So if you go there and then enhance here, boom, we can see that better. So those are just thoughts. This one's really hard to see. So you're going to, I know it's an assessment tool for teaching strategies. The layout is a little difficult to read. So just keeping that in mind, even if you did decrease that just a smidgen, it's hard to read anyway. And then increasing that a little bit could help. See? Again, it's almost the same size, and then this, and then you would have to speak to this. So this assessment for this artifact, I chose the teaching, for this artifact, I chose an assignment of 2 assessment tools in Teaching Strategies Gold. These assessment tools help a teacher know the wide range of types of assessments, their purpose, and associated methods and tools. And then you talk about it really quickly because it doesn't align as nicely as, let's say, developmental milestones. Okay. This one is off, so I would put that there, and I would put this there. and then that helps us see. So just those are the little tiny things. This is super big and doesn't probably need to be that big. And then bring that over there. We probably could shorten that up even more. And then it talks about the importance of parent-teacher conferences. I do have one. Okay, and then you chose Montessori again. And then now you're going to have to connect why Montessori is a developmentally, culturally, and linguistically appropriate teaching practices. Why did you choose Montessori? Again, this photo is very big. I would think about cinching it up and then just bringing that over there. And these are like little tiny things that I know you're not worried about right now because you're more worried about like, do I have all my discussion boards done? So those are my helpful hints. I hope they were actually helpful. Do you see how small that is? That's going to be very hard to read even on the whiteboard. So if you cinch that and then drag that over, that will help us. And then I would even, there you go. That looks better. All right. So those are little tiny things that you could do to enhance. Super big. These are thought processes. So if you really need to have that image big, then I would consider, maybe, and again, this is your presentation, so you can do it however you want. Maybe it's a bigger one slide for the artifact and one slide for the reflection. So, I mean, I think it's fine, but that's only if you absolutely want to have them that big. This is already like a perfect size, so just yank that little guy over and make it bigger for us to read. Anyway, those are my thoughts. These are the standards. I'm going to still go through to standard 7. Ready Rosie doesn't need to be that big. There we go. Boom. And then conscious discipline can be a little smaller. And then perfect. And then 7, super big. I'm very proud of you for that, but we're gonna just kind of cinch it up just a smidge. And that's when you're going to talk about it. You're going to talk about, this is my certificate for completing 80 hours in my infant toddler internship. This is what I learned. Here's my CDA. I was able to get PLA from the college for completing my CDA. My CDA was, you know, it can be a very challenging process for many. You know what I mean? So just talk about all of the things that you've learned. Other than that, I think it looks good. I hope this helps.